Good afternoon. My name is Santa Ono, and I am privileged to serve as the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Please join us in the singing of O Canada, led by our University Marshal Nancy Hermiston, Director of the Opera and Voice Program at the UBC School of Music. Please remove your caps. Thank you, Professor Hermiston. We respectfully acknowledge the Syilx Okanagan Nation and their peoples, in whose territory we stand and are gathered here today. At this moment, I would like to invite Amber Cardenas, member of the Okanagan Nation, to sing the Okanagan song.
Oh
Thank you, Amber. We pause for a moment to give thanks, spiritual and temporal, for the manifold blessings that we share in this wonderful world, this great nation, this blessed province, this splendid university, these proud students and their even prouder friends and families. We give thanks especially for this most happy of occasions. Amidst this happy occasion, we also pause to remember and reflect upon the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings and the Battle of Normandy, where so many young Canadians and Allied soldiers fought and died for the freedom and privileges that we enjoy today. Let's please observe their lives with just a moment of silence. Chancellor Gordon, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors, and the Okanagan Senate, faculty, staff, alumni, and most especially graduates, family, and friends, welcome to the University of British Columbia. What an honor it is for me to be with you today to celebrate UBC's newest graduating class, the class of 2019. Let's hear it for them. Please be seated. I can tell you that this is one of the best parts of my job, to participate in this joyful, momentous occasion, this milestone in your lives. This day is all about you and what you have accomplished and achieved through hard work, determination, and moments of creative inspiration. Just think back to the first day you stepped foot on campus here at University of British Columbia and think about all of those classes, all of those exams, all of those days, all of that studying. You have made it, and we are incredibly proud of you. Now, graduation is a time to imagine your future and the world to come. And when you think about the road ahead, you may gain perspective by looking back to where you have been. And we hope that when you do look back on your time at UBC, that you will do so with fondness. And that when you do look ahead, you will see UBC very much part of your future. You see, you will always be welcome here, and we look forward to hearing about your personal and professional achievements as you build upon the foundation provided by your UBC degree. We also hope to engage with you as alumni as you travel forward to new adventures, to new corners of the globe. We have an outstanding alumni UBC program, and we will come to you. We will bring UBC to you. So please say yes when we contact you. I want to see you. I want to hear from you, and we will celebrate your future achievements. As you begin a new stage in your life and experience, you can be confident that you can and that you will continue to make a difference just as you have during your years here. We've had the privilege of watching you as you have graced this campus, as you've been involved in all kinds of activities on this campus, and as you have been involved in all kinds of service activities off of campus. Some of this has attracted the news and the attention not only in the province, in this part of the province, but also across Canada and sometimes around the world. So you've already proven that you can make a difference. And if you look at alumni that have graduated before you, you possess the knowledge and skills that are conferred by an excellent education. But you also, if you look at those individuals, and you note that 3 of the prime ministers of the nation have come from UBC, that multiple Supreme Court justices have come from UBC, that Nobel laureates have come from UBC, and multinational presidents and CEOs of multinational companies, and leaders in every sector of human endeavor have come from UBC. That gives you a pretty good idea of what's in your bright future. In his address to UBC's very first graduating class in 1916, it was small but mighty. UBC's first president, Frank Westbrook, encouraged those students to strive not only to do well in terms of their careers and their own lives, but he encouraged those students to aim high, to try to make the world a better place in which to live by their actions, large and small. Today, 103 years later, we echo those same remarks. Those remarks by President Westbrook have become part of the ethos of this institution. It's embedded in the strategic plan of the university. It is part of the collective DNA of every person that graduates from this great institution. We believe that each and every one of you, like those who have come before you, about 350,000 living alumni, that each and every one of you, just like them, has the capacity and skill to succeed and to make the world a better place in your own unique way. Now, a couple of weeks ago, one of you, a graduating student, made an appointment to see me. And this is what he said. He said, "I just wanted to talk to my university president before going out into the real world." And my question to him was, "Don't you think that UBC is the real world?" And he said, "I'm not really sure." And I said, "It actually is. It's a remarkable community with scholars, talented individuals, outstanding faculty members and staff that care about you. People that have a diversity of different ideas and cultures and beliefs. That is a microcosm of the real world. The fact that you've come here, one of the most rigorous, international, comprehensive universities, globally respected, and that you are graduating is really a testimony to your ability to navigate this microcosm of the real world." Well, he said, "Thank you. I've enjoyed my time here, but I really wanted to have some advice from you, something that I can take with me from this day forward." And I said, "Look, I'm not sure I can give you any special or sage advice, but since you've asked twice, I'll give it a try." And I said, I thought it would just be fair for me to give the same advice to every graduating senior. So here you go. This is what I said. I'll be honest. The days after your graduation will be very similar to the days prior to your graduation. Things will be different. There won't be as many students the same age in the same location. But you will have good times and bad. It's unavoidable. May you have many more good times than bad. But when life is challenging and your spirits might be down, try this. Humor me, each and every one of you, whether you're a graduate or your friends and family, try this. I'm going to talk about a number of different vignettes that many of us have actually experienced during our lives. Perhaps it'll help to close your eyes and try to imagine, to think back to the first time you ever experienced something new. And when you think about these vignettes, really try and transport yourself to where you were back then. Try to remember when you were a little boy or a little girl. Try and feel what you felt back then. For example, think about the first time that you walked through a forest in British Columbia as a little kid. You're probably with your parents, you looked up, you saw this dense forest, and you saw trees taller than what you could even imagine. They were so tall that they appeared as if they stretched into the sky. Remember how you looked around and you saw all the ferns and the moss on the fallen branches. If it was the fall, you'd be amazed with the diversity of colors, the symphony of colors in front of you. Remember what it was like. Try to remember what it was like when you jumped in your first pile of leaves in the fall. The smell, the feeling, the fun. Think back to the first time you heard a live concert, whether it was Led Zeppelin or hopefully not Justin Bieber, well maybe, Coldplay, or classical music. For me, I'm a classical music fan. The first time I listened to a symphony orchestra live was amazing. Before that, I listened to classical music on my mono clock radio, trying to listen to a channel in Washington, D.C., living in Baltimore, and the sound would come in and out. But it was still amazing to listen to a symphony orchestra, even though it wasn't live. And then the second best was when my dad got his stereo. It had a record player. It wasn't always the case that you could listen to amazing music from your smartphone. And, well, I remember that I listened to a symphony on the record player, and I had scratched the record. And it was really amazing until it jumped like several measures and several pages because of the scratch. It was pretty good, but stereo equipment wasn't what it is today back then in the 70s, in the late 60s. Yes, that's how old I am. Well, the first time I actually heard a symphony orchestra live, it was at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. It was pretty amazing. It was a National Symphony Orchestra, and a great cellist called Mstislav Rostropovich was the conductor. And I was actually sitting in one of the front rows, like you guys, you graduates are seated. And to be there and to hear a symphony orchestra live for the first time, the power, the stereo sound, the surround sound was amazing. And I'm sure it was the same for you. And maybe it was for you a rock concert or a jazz concert. Remember when you felt something live for the first time with lots of other people? Remember what it felt like. Think back to the first time maybe you went to see a Blue Jays game in Toronto. For me, it was the Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, the late 60s. I'll never forget the thrill of, for the first time, being in the same place with 35,000 people on their feet cheering on the ninth inning with 2 outs. We were behind. I'll never forget the crack of the bat hitting the ball as someone called Boog Powell hit a grand slam home run, and the Orioles won at the end of the ninth inning, or the bottom of the ninth inning. Think back to your first fireworks display when you were a little kid. You were probably on the shoulders of one of your parents. It was beyond your bedtime. There were lots of people. You didn't know what was going on, but your parents said, this is going to be really awesome. Remember how excited you were, perhaps how scared you were when you heard that first fireworks explode. How mesmerized you were to see shimmering lights above in the summer sky, looking over the fields at the fireflies blinking. Think back to when you first rode a bicycle without training wheels. Remember how your mom or dad held onto the seat of your bicycle, afraid to let go because you might wipe out, and you were afraid too, but you wanted to make your parents proud? Remember when you were able to do it for the first time, and your parents were so excited they were videotaping it? They may still have that videotape. Think back to when you got your first driver's license, that sense of liberation, that time-honored step towards adulthood, that rite of passage like today. Today is one such moment in your life that you will never forget. Think back to your first kiss. Well, maybe you don't want to remember that first kiss. Think back to the first time that you looked out of the window of a jet plane. For me, it was a propeller plane, but for you, it was a jet plane, I'm sure. Looking at the snow-capped mountains of the Okanagan. Or perhaps the first time you witnessed the majesty of the Grand Canyon or the Niagara Falls, the Canadian side, of course. Think back to the first time that you saw the Houses of Parliament or Big Ben in London or the pyramids of Egypt. Think back to how you said, is it really possible that humans could build something so amazing? If you're a scuba diver, think about the first time you saw the stunning biodiversity of a coral reef, a tortoise swimming by, or a shark not too far, uncomfortably close to you. How excited you were, how scared you were. Or when you walked through a tropical rainforest and you saw birds of every color flying from branch to branch. What I want you to do as you thought about those first times is try and remember your sense of awe, your look of wide-eyed amazement as you experienced for the first time the wonders of the world. I'll tell you, your parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts have photos of you those first times, and they look back at their photo albums or at their Facebook photo collections, and you will increasingly as you relive those moments, that will bring a smile to your face, sunshine on a cloudy day. If you think about all the days that you have in your life, it's only a precious few moments that will really be those that will constitute your memories. And today is such a day. But beyond looking back, my advice to you is to always look forward to new firsts, to never ever lose that sense of adventure, that sense of wonder. You see, when the world seems drab, as if everything is monochrome, or as if you're listening to something on that clock radio in mono, that's the precise moment for you to push beyond your limits, to experience anew the diversity of the colors of the world, the diversity of the people, cultures, and ideas, the magic of the world in stereo. You see, the sooner you realize that the bucket lists of things to do in the world is infinite, the sooner you will realize that there is an endless list of first times for you, endless opportunity to view the world with childlike wonder. And never be embarrassed to be childlike, because that, my friends, is the secret of being forever young. If you do this, soon-to-be graduates, you will live a rich and fulfilling life. Godspeed, stay in touch. We will be rooting for you every step of the way. Congratulations to the class of 2019.
Thank you very much, President Ono. I'm Deborah Buzzard, and I have the privilege of being the Principal and Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Okanagan campus of UBC. To the graduating class, congratulations. So many faces that I recognize in this class. Today marks all of your tremendous achievements. And what you take with you from UBC is not just a disciplinary degree, not just skills to get you a job. More importantly, it has prepared you to live a thoughtful life, one of perception, insight, and dare I say, in this era of fake news and sensationalism, a rational life. It gives you the intellectual tools to flourish wherever you will go from here. And as I look at you, I am struck by your collective power to be a force for positive change in the world. There's much to be done, many challenges, incredible opportunities, technologies we can't even imagine today, which will totally reshape your world, the kind of work you do, the lives you live. But we know that you are well prepared. We know that you can take this on. And I want to give you a small example of what you can achieve individually and collectively. And it speaks to something that you have been doing in your time here at UBC. Quite a few of you were here in 2014. And in 2014, the Students' Union led a campaign called More Library. And those of you, you've been here for many years, some of you, you know how poor the amount of study space was back in 2014. And you campaigned and you held a referendum to charge yourselves a small contribution every year to contribute to building more study space. We called it More Library, and our librarian, Heather Berenger, was the person who led that campaign. And you have seen that come to fruition. You are the first class who've been able to enjoy studying in that new space. You made that happen. Your collective contributions will add up over time to a $10 million contribution to a $35 million building. That building is yours. You did that. And you did it not just for yourselves, because We weren't actually sure it would be completed in your time here at UBC. You voted to do something that will make the future better for others here at UBC Okanagan. And your collective generosity has created a beautiful learning space. You all, I saw so many of you in there studying for your finals, working hard before the exams and tests at the end of the year. Isn't it transformative? It's truly amazing. I'd like a big round of applause for the students who've made that building possible. You really have paid it forward. Thank you. And we all, from the bottom of our heart, appreciate that wonderful new space. So graduation doesn't mean saying goodbye to this beautiful campus. As you leave, we hope that you'll continue to be involved in the life of the university. In fact, on September the 28th, you're invited back as our newest alumni to our second annual homecoming weekend, and we look forward to seeing many of you back there. Never before has a graduating class gone out into a world where change is happening so rapidly. But I have absolute confidence that you will not only cope, you'll thrive, and you'll embrace the opportunities that come. We know that great universities are measured by their impact, and the greatest impact that a university has is through the contributions of its alumni, in whatever sphere they work. We know that you will make us incredibly proud by the work that you do as UBC alumni. On behalf of the University of British Columbia and all of our colleagues here on the Okanagan campus, congratulations. I wish you every success. Well done, class of 2019. And now, I'm pleased to call on Noël Viget, a member of the graduating class, to make remarks. Noël.
Thank you, Dr. Buzzard. Mr. Chancellor, honored guests, and fellow graduates. Look at us. We are almost there. We've achieved something incredible. As we all know, getting this degree has not been easy. Sometimes it felt like we would never get to this moment. But here we are. These last 4 or more years have been some of the most difficult, but have also been some of the most rewarding. As graduates of UBCO, we have managed not only to obtain our degree, but we have created an incredible community, cohort, and home at this university. These last years have been years of change, years of struggle, and years of transformation. In this uncertain time, we have helped each other to feel at home, grounded in the ever-changing landscape that is the university education. For some of us, coming to UBCO was easy and close to home. For others, it was the furthest we'd ever gone. But we adapted to the challenges thrown our way, and we created a home where we stood. Our friends that we made in classes have become like our family, and the school has become like our home. But that last one might be because of all of the late nights, tears, sleeping, and emotional breakdowns that these buildings and our professors have witnessed. But I wouldn't take any of those tears or sleepless nights back. Okay, well, maybe a few of the mornings. But we are all better for our experience here. What we have created, this feeling of home and family among those who used to be nothing more than strangers to us, is not something that we should forget moving forward. We are moving from the home that we have created into a world that is more open and connected than has ever before existed. This connectedness presents an incredible opportunity for us to make positive change. However, as we have seen, this proximity can also lead to contention, violence, and partisanship. As graduates, we are entering into this uncertain world that we have merely been studying these last few years. This move into the world is exciting and terrifying, all at the same time. But as we move on, we need to remember what we have created here. We have not always agreed on everything we've learned, and we do not all share the same beliefs and opinions, but we have all found common ground, which is what we have built our experience on. We are strong on our own and capable of great change, but we're also a family and can make even greater change together. While many of us will be leaving UBCO as we move into the world, the family that we have built will not disappear. In fact, it will only continue to grow. On behalf of Alumni UBC, I am honored to welcome you into the alumni family. You now belong to a community of changemakers and leaders that is more than 350,000 strong. Graduates like you who are looking to make a positive change in the world. Visit the alumni welcome tent after our ceremony and see what it means to be a new member of the alumni family. As we move into a world where this concrete feeling of home and family becomes more abstract, we need to remember what we have learned and built here, both in academics and in community. We will bring with us our capacity for incredible change into our future and retain our ability to find common ground and create a home and feeling of connectedness to those who are only strangers to us now. We have the ability among all of us to create great change in the world, so let's go and show the world what we are capable of. Thank you.
Well, Noel, thank you so much for those wonderful remarks. And as soon-to-be alumni, I wanted to give a special shout-out to somebody who, over the past 8 years, has made an enormous impact on the University of British Columbia. He's someone that I will always consider a friend, someone that we will miss dearly. I'd like to ask this individual to stand. His daughter is graduating. Let's give a round of applause to the head of Alumni UBC, Jeff Todd. Jeff, please stand.
Now, will the candidates for degrees please rise? That's you. Yeah. If you don't rise, you don't get the degree. That's it. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting the candidates for degrees who have successfully completed their studies and fulfilled the conditions that the university has set for them. The Okanagan Senate of this university recommends them to you for the degrees that will be announced by a representative of the faculties. As each degree is officially conferred, the Dean of the Faculty, and in the case of graduate students, the Dean of the College of Graduate Studies will congratulate each student. Raj Wariak and Candice Loring, members of the alumni community, will welcome each student to the Alumni Association and present them with an alumni handbook. The candidates will please be seated.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Alicia Baker. Dr. Baker examined the emotional and cognitive aspects of remorse as well as how others evaluate it. She studied the influence that genuine and feigned remorse has on observer impressions of sincerity and predictions of future behavior. This research contributes to our understanding of how remorse influences consequential legal decision-making. Dr. Baker. Pamela Jean Black. Dr. Black explored the cognitive antecedents and behavioral consequences of schadenfreude, which is the feeling of malicious pleasure that follows from observing another person suffer a misfortune. She found evidence that schadenfreude results from perceived competition and leads to behavioral efforts to maintain competitors' reduced superiority. Dr. Black.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting you the candidate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Lindsay Deal. Dr. Deal employed a creative critical approach to trace her family history and analyze a canon of Chinese-Canadian narratives. Dr. Deal's work highlights the importance of sharing the stories of previous generations, while also uncovering potential problems of such an endeavor. Dr. Deal. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts. Richard Amante. Nazanin Saheb Nasseh. Mariel J. Belanger. Jennifer Kathleen Furlong. Tanya Willard. Meg Yamamoto.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Master of Arts. Kaylee Meisner. Jill Marie Robinson. Michelle St. Pierre. Ali Caldwell. Kasia Nowinski. Aravis Walters. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts. Yunhan Wang. Yunlin Wang. Stacy Squires. Alicia Wozni. Lauren Nicole Rossiter. Ashley Dawn Adams. Harsheen Arneja. Just stand back a bit. Harsha Bamra. Shayal Bourne. Louise Jane Butterfield. Emily Ann Chayasik. Chanel Brittany Connell. Jaden Craigie. Kathleen Cusmano. Dhaliwal. Jennifer Taraline Edwards. Jillian Enos. Emily Fardo. Luke Joseph Ferraco. Sarah C. Ferguson. Haley J. Gibb. Amarjot Gill. Caitlin Marie Grant. Colleen Greeny. Brianna Lee Hagley. Kieran Hayduck. Kendall R. Higgins. Taylor Huron. Tia Itterman. Madison Johnson. Mi Young Hee Jeon. Tristan Roy Knoll. Yoonjin Lee. Sydney Mackey, or McKay, pardon me. Naomi Claudia Meisen. Alexa Merrick. Taylor McCreary. Emma Hoymark Mickelson. Melissa Newidge. Xiao Yung Peng. Kathleen Maria Peters. Mariah Nicole Peters. Sydney Peterson. Alexa Taylor Ryson. Mackenzie Ray Sally. Simran Sandhu. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the University of British Columbia Medal in Arts, Head of the Graduating Class, Victoria Scottney. Shad Shaker. Chloe Madeline Shea. Talitha Somerville. Ashley Stevenson. Bradley Straker. Mario Franco Tavolieri. Sean Terrio. Levi Thompson. Hillary Tachuk. Sydney Rebecca Tachuk. Jenna Visser. Marissa Whale. Chantel Suzanne Natasha Wood. Danielle Wood. Keisha Woods. Chantel Marie Bro. Alexia Filipeos. Michelle Jorgensen. Michelle Michalka. Morgan Teresa Ratliff. Emily Kaiser. Michelle E. Tong Yi. Sydney Fernandez. Casey Joylene Hesketh. Maggie Claire Robinson. Araya Laurie. Kijao Dora Chen. Danielle Clausen. Liam Gerard. Kayla Schuster. Sabet Darchuk. Ashley Honeyman. Callie Marcel. Darlene Amanda Melgar Guido. Vanessa Botticelli. Barka Danju. Taylor Lyndon McGuire. Kennedy Sandra Patterson. Courtney Emily Diamond Wotun. Alana Brooke Rob Douglas. Joanna Garcia. Shannon Leslie Galsoff. Brandy Lynch. Timothy Percy Yosip Namet. Brooke Dudley. Parmida Abedi. Colton Costa. Jade Cowan. Eve Marie Dodd. Lexi Falk. Courtney Ann Hannigan. Ori Harris. Navneet Kaur Man. Anna Victoria Medella Pinto. Kaylee Taylor Melna. Isabella Panagos. Angleen Panach. Davis Wiggs. Emka Joubert. Sarah Sanders. Kelsey Tettenborn. Hannah Rose Wilson. James Michael Koss. Miguel da Silva Capella. That's her.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you more candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts. Nevada Elizabeth Christensen. Connor McMillan. Logan Wedgwood. Kaylee Marie Jackson. Andrea Martinez. Dane Robert Patterson. Jessica Payach. Hayden Ward. Emily Schultz. Paula Tran. Maribel Winifred Ancora. David Lemieux. Anish Goel. Mariana Beatriz Ochitson Alday. Weilin Leong. Melissa Weiss. Alastair Barnabas Christian Henrich. Miranda Page Mitchell. Stephanie Grace Erickson. Matthew Hargraves. Adelaide Black. Chloe Corbett. Natalie Lei Ying Tang. Tatum Marie Fraser. Emma Rose Logue. Noël Viger. Lydia Adeli Nejafi. Toby Martin Collis Hanford. Emily Faulkner. Claire Marie Holtzen. Julia Haranick. Margaret Randulich. Riley Schlosser. Sarah Stanton. Rachel Todd. Jordan Maria Zanier. Jacob Fitzgerald. Jordy Decker. Deanna Bravo. Ashley Goodbelly. Charlotte Hall. Joel Isler. Elisa Ware. Curtis Mitchell Trent Woodcock. Kalina Louise Crevier. Danica Parashkevova. Lauren Tamiko Kim. Brianne Nicole Brunel. Faye Rochelle Isley. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Fine Arts. Mirjana Borovicic. Taylor Brianna Caruthers. Joshua Fender. Christy Matilda Grindy. Devin Jose Haywood. Charles Landa. Tiffany Nam. Stephanie Lauren Wills. Mozan Amadza Degan. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the University of British Columbia Medal in Fine Arts, Head of Graduating Class, Evan Berg. Reggie Ann Harold. Katila Whitman.
Will all the graduates please rise? For those graduates who've crossed the stage today, as well as those who were unable to make today's ceremony, I hereby admit you to the Convocation of UBC. Congratulations. As Chancellor, it's been my privilege and great honor to preside over today's ceremony. You've all invested a huge amount of time, determination, focus, hard work to reach this milestone in your life, your graduation. You've had a lot of support along the way, your family, your friends, your peers, and many of them are in this hall today. So I think this would be a great moment for you to turn around and show your appreciation for their support. Let's give your supporters a huge round of applause. And how about a big round of applause for the faculty on the stage for their support? So having crossed the stage today, you are now members of the Convocation of UBC, and you are in good company. Since UBC first began granting degrees in 1916, generations of students like you have crossed the stage, just like this one, to receive their degrees, and they've gone on to help build our community and shape our society. As alumni, your relationship with UBC is beginning anew, and you can maintain your voice in the affairs of the university through your elected members of Senate, perhaps by mentoring one of today's students, or by participating in one of the many volunteer activities that UBC hosts here at home or abroad. And as lifelong learners, you will always be welcome to come back here to take a course or two. You might want to take a short break before you do that, but you will always be welcome to come back, and I do encourage you to stay involved and be a part of this great institution, because you still have much to offer UBC, just as UBC still has much to offer you. So to Est, congratulations once again, and please be seated.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our Chancellor, Lindsay Gordon, for presiding over this ceremony, and our President, Santaona, for joining us for this very important celebration. Please give them a round of applause. I'd also like to thank our orchestra, the Okanagan Symphony Orchestra Wind Ensemble, led by Dennis Colpitts. Please give them a round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings our ceremony to a close. Thank you all for joining us for what has been a truly happy day. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and that you are able to join us for refreshments, which will be served immediately following the ceremony in the courtyard at the alumni tent. We kindly request guests to remain seated while the academic procession exits and leaves the building. But before we begin that procession, there is one more big moment. Parents, families, friends, supporters, this is the photo op that you have been waiting for. Some of you may have been waiting decades for the opportunity for this photo or video. It's the time-honored tradition known as the cap toss. You've been waiting years, particularly the students, so let's get this right. I don't want any premature decapitation. The key to a successful cap toss is synchronization and altitude. I will leave the altitude up to you. You can aim for the sky. It's a fairly high ceiling, and I'll give $5 if you leave your cap on the ceiling. But to ensure that you're all in sync, I will lead you with a prompt. So, will the graduates please rise and prepare for the toss? Remove your caps and hold on to them. In a moment, I'm going to wish you one final congratulations on behalf of the University of British Columbia. And when I say the word Columbia, that's your cue to toss your caps high in the air, and parents, that's the cue to start filming or snapping photos. Is everybody ready? Yes. Mr. Chancellor, President Ono, dignitaries, friends, and family, please join me in congratulating one last time the 2019 graduates of the University of British Columbia.